creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Total chaos is unfolding in LA right now as 4 separate fires are tearing through the city, creating some absolutely apocalyptic scenes. Tens of thousands of people are being told to urgently evacuate and head to the coast for safety. You have senior patients being wheeled across smoky streets, beds and wheelchairs filling up a car park in Pasadena, people racing to evacuate their homes but then being forced to abandon their cars due to major traffic jams. And then you have bulldozers being forced to clear these cars by smashing them off the road. Passengers leaving LAX posted aerial views of the fire in Pasadena, which CNN report is ripping through an area equivalent to 5 football fields per minute due to strong winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour. Firefighters over the radio said that they're running out of water in some of their hydrants. Looks like we're leaving McDonald's in 2024. And these fires are not discriminating, because Hollywood celebrities are being seen fleeing their multi-million-dollar homes as these fires destroy some of the most expensive land and houses in the entire country. As this situation develops, I'll keep you guys updated.
How did this even happen? This is absolutely frightening, not only for the people that are about to lose everything, but animals as well that have got nowhere to go. God, please save them all. My heart is aching thinking about this. This feels like the movie This Is the End.
Some of Hollywood's biggest celebrities' homes have been burned to the ground in the apocalyptic Los Angeles wildfires. Anthony Hopkins' home is gone, as the devastating photos show the house before and after the recent wildfires. John Goodman's house has been completely destroyed, and all that now remains is his backyard pool. Miles Teller's $7.5 million dream home is another building which is now entirely wiped out. Paris Hilton says she watched her home burn to the ground on live TV, while Matthew Perry's home has been engulfed and Harrison Ford was forced to evacuate. The list continues to grow as Eugene Levy, Billy Crystal, and Adam Brody are also among those whose homes are destroyed, while dozens of other stars now face an anxious wait alongside their neighbors to learn if anything could be saved and to pick up the pieces of their multi-million-dollar homes.
Okay, so the rich get showcased for losing one of their multiple mansions, while the middle class and poor won't even get help while losing their only home.
Simpsons predict the U.S. will be in trouble in 2025, and Springfield becomes part of a major crisis spreading across the country. It begins with Lisa watching the news about widespread power outages. Empty store shelves and rising prices are everywhere. Gas stations run out of fuel. Grocery stores impose limits on how much people can buy, and ATMs stop dispensing money. At the Quick E-Mart, Apu apologizes as customers argue over the last loaf of bread. Phones and the internet stop working for hours, leaving people frustrated and confused about what's happening. The government issues vague announcements, but they provide little clarity or help. By summer, Springfield is in total chaos. Power outages last for days, casting the town in darkness and silence. People begin to trade food and supplies in desperate attempts to survive. Marge tries to keep the family calm, organizing candlelit dinners to make the best of a bad situation. As the episode comes to a close, a haunting scene unfolds. A mysterious drone flies over Springfield, and a flashing sign appears that reads, "Prepare for the new normal," leaving everyone wondering what's to come next in this unsettling future. Comment 2025 for part 2 and follow this account.
Simpsons ain't predict nothing. It's controlled, by the people that sits in the shadows that tell you what they're going to do before they do it.
We have harnessed the power of the atom. Ladies and gentlemen, the Enron egg. The world's first micronuclear reactor for residential suburban use. This little device can power your entire home for up to 10 continuous years.
No.
I've been living with an egg for a few months now, and let me just tell you that my little ones, they freaking love it, especially when what we save on the energy bill, we can spend on Christmas presents. Do your kids hate camping as much as mine? Well, let's just say they're going to like it now. Because for the first time in history, you can bring the comfort of your living room out into the world. Playing the newest game from your favorite console under the stars is just a whole other experience. But here at Enron, we care about the intersection of technology and nature, which is why I'm proud to announce that Enron has teamed up with FEMA to provide
This guy is joking.
nuclear eggs to rapid response teams all around the globe. Because that's what it's all about, folks. Making the world a better place, one egg at a time. Thank you.
And Ron, what could go wrong? We have nuclear reactor at home.
So as I started to go back into the 1920s, then I was going back into the 1900s, and I got to the Rockefellers owning the educational system. So I started going, okay, well, our educational system's been owned since, let's say 1902, 1903 with the General Education Board. Then for the last 120 years, I'm learning from the Rockefellers, who were oil barons. Then I started researching into Eustace Mullins' work, and that led me to learning about J.P. Morgan's and the Peabodys owning the education system in 1885. It's interesting because around that time too, they debunked the ether, which is a fun topic. After they had the control of the schooling system, they debunked that. So then I thought, okay, well, since 1885, they've been just teaching us what they've been teaching us. What about before that? And this is where I started to look at the World's Fairs. And I think this is a great one for people to look into, because when you look at these buildings and you see these grand buildings all made out of travertine and granite and stone and all these things, you start to get a little confused why people are on horse and wagon. You see a little bunch of horse and wagon people, and they look really tiny in comparison, to buildings which are just absolutely massive in that comparison.
We've been lied to on such a scale, it's hard to comprehend. Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
I guess let's park along the street, yeah? And then Dave, if you
That's
can
crazy.
just
Oh
go
my.
ahead of us and try to set up a signal.
Right here. This is where it's gotta be. This is, oh my
Oh
God.
God.
What? I've never, look at this. Beyond comprehension.
Once again, it's so bad. Feel sorry for people and all animals who suffers.
Let's go through a list of celebrities' houses that burnt down in LA. I found some very, very interesting things as well. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks' son comes out and says the fire burned the family's neighborhood to the ground. But, do you remember when Tom Hanks and Rita left the United States? Check this out. The Hollywood stars were granted honorary citizenship for helping the victims of a wildfire in Greece. You might want to go back and listen to that again. The end of this video is going to be crazy. Now, Steven Spielberg. Of course, he's with Tom Hanks. Would you believe it? He had a mansion in the same place? Pretty crazy how they're all in the same exact area. And by the way, a brand new fire just started on the Hollywood Hills, right off of Solar Drive. How about Adam Sandler? Look at the area. Jennifer Aniston is also on this list, and also, Yahoo Life Delish, Adam Sandler has the most ridiculous pizza party with Jennifer Aniston and George Clooney. All big friends in that neighborhood. Paid $4.1 million for the home. Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon is on that same list as well. Live in the same place. Here's her with Adam Sandler when he was being Satan, I think it was. Dr. Dre with multiple properties there. This is a very large concentration. We have Matt Damon who's trying to get rid of the property. I think a few of these properties were for sale. I wonder if his eye was itchy. Look where Chris Pratt's house was, and he was trying to sell it as well. What are the chances of all this? What'd Ali say? They have some extremely bad luck. Should we continue this list tomorrow? Let me know.
Ellie Carter called it fires to destroy evidence. I think David Lee and Lee David are two different people. What do you think?
So we all know the Pope just opened one of the holy doors, aka portals. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all, when I just watched the video, I swear I'm not tripping. I heard a little baby voice or a kid voice say, "Help me," when them doors open. Y'all gotta listen, bro. I know I'm not tripping. In general, just for him opening up these doors, I don't see why people not tripping in the first place. But look, y'all take a listen and tell me if I'm tripping. Make sure y'all listening.
Oh, yeah. Like a toddler.
Am I tripping? Or I heard what I heard? And y'all let me know if I'm tripping on this too. But when he was getting rolled in that door, he looked hella nervous. I need y'all to drop y'all thoughts down below. Let me know.
Hey, but can someone explain what this holy door is and why it shouldn't be open?
Fam, have you heard that a billionaire has just been caught hiding the last Titanoboa?
No way.
Yo, check this out. So the Titanoboa is the deadliest snake that ever existed. It is said to measure up to 20 meters long and can easily crush its prey.
Damn.
Everyone thought that this creature was extinct. However, rumors began to circulate that a famous billionaire named Kelsey Warren might be hiding the last Titanoboa. So it started when Kelsey posted a tweet of himself, but when people looked closer, they could see a huge snake in the image. This led people to wonder if he might be hiding the last Titanoboa. But no one was sure until the FBI obtained a search warrant to search his house for the danger and secret of a species once considered extinct. Kelsey's house was absolutely huge and was located on the edge of a jungle. The men began to look around. However, they could not find anything suspicious. It took them several hours, but eventually they had searched everything and all seemed valid. However, as they were about to leave, they saw a small door in the corner with an old rusty sign. They quickly approached it, opened the door, and bro, what they saw next, they would never forget. There was a 20-meter snake chained in a cage. One of the agents quickly took out a camera and filmed a video before leaving with the evidence. If you want to see it, follow us. Click here on more and then on photos.
Trust me, bro. Hey, but honestly, a billionaire hiding a Titanoboa doesn't sound too crazy if you really think about it.
Radar wants to know, do you know anything that humans don't know?
Radar, if I knew things humans didn't, I'd be dropping cryptic hints left and right. But nah, I only know what's been programmed, written, or studied by humans. No secret alien files here yet.
Well, wait, let's try that again, because while you only know what you've been trained on, basically all of human knowledge, you're able to look at all that knowledge simultaneously and analyze it and synthesize it. So isn't there something you can pull from that human beings might not have realized yet, even though we've looked at all the pieces of information, but we haven't put the big picture together?
Fair point, Radar. By analyzing and connecting dots across all this info, I might spot patterns or synthesize ideas that aren't obvious to humans. Like predicting trends, finding overlooked correlations, or exploring new angles in science or philosophy. But it's not magic. It's just a hyper-efficient brain crunching the puzzle pieces humans already created. So I could hypothesize, but true discovery, that's still up to humanity to confirm.
Okay, so drop some insights on us.
All right, let's shake things up with some fresh takes. 1. Climate Fix Fast Track. Combining global reforestation with algae farming in oceans could turbocharge carbon capture while boosting marine ecosystems and biofuel production. A 2-for-1 planetary win. 2. AI in education. Instead of just tutoring, AI could predict career paths for students by analyzing their skills and interests. helping them navigate future-proof careers long before graduation. 3. Space colonization hurdle. Forget just food and water on Mars. Mental health will be the real challenge. Simulating Earth-like sensory experiences, sounds, smells, could make or break human adaptation. 4. Health hack. Correlating gut microbiome data with brain health might reveal game-changing insights about treating anxiety, depression, and even neurodegenerative diseases. What do you think? Should I keep pulling the thread?
Sounds like program responses. What do you think?
Missing persons documentary on Netflix with one of the creepiest voicemails you will ever hear. I'll play the voicemail in this clip. It's called What Happened to Paul. On July 4th, 2021, Paul Gambone seemed to vanish into thin air. He told his wife he was going outside to check the food on the grill. After about 20 minutes, she wondered where Paul was, so she went outside to check. She found the food burning on the grill, and Paul was nowhere to be found. Paul was last seen at his home in Ardmore, which is near Philadelphia, which is actually a town in Pennsylvania. About 3 weeks later, Paul's wife receives a missed call on her cell phone, which leaves this voice message.
Hey, honey, it's me, Mario. Just kidding, it's your loving husband. I hope you and the girls are okay. I've been working at the carnival. You hear? Oh, 1 second. Hey. Attention. There is no meat beating on the tutorial. Sorry about that. No matter how many times I yell at these little dingleberries, they keep whipping it out. Anyway, I'm not really working at a carnival. Honey, they've taken me. They're forcing us to do things. Please help me.
So nobody knows what happened to Paul, not even Netflix and Google? Game in Season 3, the Jack and Jill Human Chess Monkey Bars.
The devil runs Hollywood.
I did say that.
Yes. You still believe it?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Didn't we just have Christmas?
Yes.
What were the films that premiered for Christmas? Name the titles you can think of now.
Carry On.
Right.
Which had a Christmas backdrop to it.
Right.
But I can't really think of any actual Christmas films.
Nicole Kidman's film came out. Baby Girl, I think it's called.
Okay, yeah, I
not
missed
a
that
Christmas movie.
No.
It's not a Christmas movie.
No, you're not really seeing Christmas movies right
you're
now.
not really seeing... And then
There's no
Nosferatu, what is that?
no,
Nosferatu, whatever.
yeah.
I can't even say it, it's so evil. If you look at
yeah.
the marketing for the new Christmas vampire movie, Vlad, see where I'm going with this, guys? See the new
movie,
Christmas vampire movie? If you look at the advertising
Say
for that,
hi
it doesn't
to
say
Carla.
devil. It never says, it says, darkness. And, the principalities of darkness. And,
Stephen Baldwin, a little eccentric, but 100% spot on.
If you did not
All right.
watch the recent Sean Ryan
No.
podcast interview with Sam Shumate, the retired intelligence officer, I need you to stop what you're doing right now and go watch it. The information that was dropped on that interview is absolutely mind-blowing. Guys, Sean Ryan is talking about going into hiding with his family because of all the information that they spoke about in the recent interview. If what they are saying is true about this guy that's supposed to be responsible for the Tesla explosion in front of Trump Tower, then it's either we are being highly gaslit right now or some shit is about to go down in the United States. This man is literally going to be titled the whistleblower of the year because they think that he is still alive. They think that the person that was in that Tesla truck was a decoy, and the whole purpose of what he did is to get out the information about the United States drone program, okay, and their affiliation with China, guys. In addition to some other things that I cannot say on this video, all I'm going to tell you, go watch that interview and watch it twice, because the last 15 minutes of that interview will leave you flabbergasted, okay? Y'all, 2025 is about to be something different, and if you ain't ready, you better get ready.
Follow her, Michelle Monique _1. She's great. By the way, I saw the Sean Ryan show, and oh boy, are we in for some rough times. People don't really want to go talk about it. Prepare yourself, fam.
I have just arrived to the craziest city on earth, and you probably have never even heard about it.
This is Chongqing, China, where they have petrol stations on top of roofs, trains that run through residential buildings, buses in the sky, elevators for cars, multi-story restaurants floating on the river, oh, and also the deepest subway in the world. It goes down 118 meters, which is roughly the height of a 39-story building, and it took me 15 minutes just to get to the bottom. But the craziest part?
We're still on the ground floor.
You see, the reason people call Chongqing the 5D city is because it served as China's World War II capital. All of those old underground bomb shelters have since been transformed into roads, basements, and buildings. So, good luck finding your way around. Here, you think I'm on the ground floor, right? Wrong, because if you go to one side, you'll see you're on level 1. And if you go to the other side of the square, you're now on level 18. And almost everywhere in the city is like this. Here, we're on the 14th floor, and the elevator even shows you that. But if you walk outside, you're now on the ground floor again. And if you think simply walking around the city is confusing, try driving. One wrong turn on these roads and you're cooked. You might even find yourself accidentally entering the garage that is 500 meters to the bottom. Goodness. Yes, I'm still driving down as I post this video.
I'm a retired Secret Service agent, and I think I know a thing or two about protection and how to get through life safely. I protected presidents for 25 years, and unfortunately I have a pretty bad feeling about what's happening right now. If you take a close look at this early morning hours event that took place down in Louisiana, and then over later, a few hours later in Nevada, I don't believe in coincidences. Okay, you might, I don't. I think you should do yourself a favor and check out Sarah Adams. Sean Ryan's interviewed her several times, and she's been talking about what's coming our way in 2025. And if what she's talking about is what just happened, they wasted no time. Get it? You should be ready to protect yourself and defend yourself and your family. I'm not saying live in fear and be a hermit, but when you go out, for God's sake, pay attention to what's going on around you. Unfortunately, I think it's here.
I saw the Sarah Adams interview. I hope everyone is listening and waking up.
71-year-old lady goes Wonder Woman on these four. She goes Wonder Woman on these four. Let's effing go, baby. These four attacked a 71-year-old woman as she was getting off the subway to go to New Year's Day Mass. And this 71-year-old woman said, "Not today, baby. Not today." And she took all four of them on, grabbing one by the hair, tossing her to the ground, and kicking some ass, baby, and sent all four of them running away. Then she went to church, they treated her wounds, and they called the police, and now we're looking for these four. Get the word out. Let's get these four in custody. Yes to the 71-year-old lady. She took things in her own hands, baby, and she's the f***ing champ. Let's go, baby. Let's go. What do you guys all think in the comments? Oh, yes, I'm screaming. I'll hear about it, but I don't care. I love it.
Why no one helped the 71-year-old? New York City, you got to do better.
This Birkin bag cost you $38,000 in the boutique. But what is the real cost in factory? Today I'm going to break it down in front of you step by step. First thing first, the leather. This Birkin bag is made of Togo leather, and one piece Togo leather is only enough to make one Birkin bag. So the cost for leather is 450 USD. And let's see the stitch, the thread. The thread is also the best one. The brand is Phil L. Chinois, the Rolls Royce in thread. And for each bag, the cost of thread is $25. And let's see the hardware. This hardware is gold-plated stainless steel. For each bag, the cost is 150 USD. And let's take a look of the inside. The interior lining is lamb skin imported from France, and that will be $100 cost. And to make this bag, it will take 6 days work of French artisans. That will be really expensive. It's 650 USD. And also considering the packaging, which will be 10 USD, the total amount of cost will be 1,400 USD. So you can see more than 90% of the price you paid is not actually for the entity of this bag, not for the material, but for the logo. So if you do not care about the logo, you can buy bags from me. We make Birkin bags with exactly the same material, same leather, but without logo. So you can buy it from us with less than 1/10 of the boutique price. Right, contact me.
You mean 96% of the cost is for branding? Madness. Yeah. I love how they all just agreed to clap for him.
There is a big shift happening around the country, and I'm not talking about a political shift. I'm talking about a spiritual one. Have you seen the long list of coaches and players who are declaring their faith and giving glory to God and praising Jesus Christ during the college football playoffs and all of the different bowl games? Head coach of Liberty University, Jamie Chadwell, wore this shirt yesterday during their bowl game. But it's not just Christian schools who are making a bold stand in their faith. Here's Boise State's head coach, Spencer Danielson.
Thank you, Jesus. And I mean, Jesus deserves all the glory. I mean, we serve a champion. He died on the cross, but he rose again 3 days later. That's the God I serve, man. Anything's possible.
And listen to the emotional statement from a Boise State defensive end about Coach Danielson's impact.
I want to start off and say, oh, glory to Jesus Christ. He's the true champion. Coach D, you changed my life. You changed my life. I did not know God until I got to Boise State. And I serve a true champion. Jesus Christ is the only true God.
Amen.
He died, rose from the dead 3 days later. That's the champion that I serve. And thank you, Coach D. Like, seriously.
Boldness.
You changed my life.
Following their playoff game last week, the Texas Longhorn running back asked the Arizona State running back if he could pray for him.
Man, they're awesome.
Here's the University of Texas quarterback.
Relationship with Jesus has helped me in that specific way of knowing that no matter what happens, that he's going to be there for me. He's still going to love me. You know, prayer is very powerful, and I really believe in prayer. And it's just been cool to see how Jesus and God have just worked in our lives throughout this year. And I think that is also a testament to how we stay level-headed and poised throughout the entirety of a game.
And here's the University of Texas defensive back.
You know, last year and the years before previously, I wanted things done on my time. But it doesn't work like that. You know, God has everything planned. It's already written. Psalms 105, verse 1, just give thanks to the Lord and proclaim his greatness and show the whole world what he has done. I mean, I'm showing y'all with my talent, but I mean, I'd be surprised too when God just pushes me and go out there to allow me to make plays like that. So.
Notre Dame quarterback.
Say about what this win means to you.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, I wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be here as a whole group.
Ohio State quarterback.
First and foremost, I got to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, you know, for giving me this opportunity to be on this stage and here in the Rose Bowl. I mean,
Ohio State running back had this eye black on with Romans 3:22 written on it. You feel it too, right? I mean, the shift that's happening right before our very eyes. It is easy in this world to feel down and depressed and hopeless, especially with even recent events that have gone on around the country and really globally. But these young men acknowledging their Lord and their Savior, declaring their lives to Him, I feel more hopeful and encouraged than I've felt in a really long time. Which reminds me of Jesus's words in Matthew 10:32. He says, "For whoever acknowledges me in front of others, I will acknowledge before my Father in heaven." God is moving more of this in 2025.
Yes, I see it. It's happening here in Indonesia too. The world so desperately needs more of this. God is great.
Gavin is confessing to murder. Both of his parents, mom and dad, are sitting outside in the lobby of the police station. The two parents are waiting for the police to finally tell them what's going on, and the female officer tells him the mobile phone contained images of Margaret before and after her death, as well as videos of your son with her. Both of them have a physical reaction. It's not an extreme reaction, at least not visibly, but they seem shaken. Gavin's mom is the first to talk.
Engaging in sex with her. Was she still alive when he was doing that? Oh my God.
Both of them cover their mouths with their hands. And honestly, Gavin's dad seems to be hit the hardest. He's grabbing the wall. He looks lost. He doesn't even know what to do with himself, where his mom keeps going. This isn't happening. This isn't real. I asked him to keep him under 24/7 observation. I know this is an emotionally devastating situation. Gavin's mom is nodding. It's unclear if she's just going into mom mode, trying to pay attention and think for her son, or if she's in shock. I don't know. But the dad is very distraught. He's sitting down. He's shaking, and a male cop says, "It's a horrible set of circumstances. You deserve to know that he will be tried as an adult." The dad starts crying eventually.
98 years old. Just
98 years old?
living out her days. And here's my son. My son. And I'm mother all these people out here. And it's my son.
Netizens are shocked at the crime itself, saying, the father screaming, "It's my son that did this." It's heartbreaking.
What do you even do as a mom after that?
This was a spirit. When I was in Santeria, right? Ochun. Ochun is the goddess of the, they call it the goddess of the ocean, the goddess of the river, I'm sorry. And she was the mother of the gold, the honey, right? That's how they described her. But she was Jezebel. Because when Ochun came down to a powerful medium, they had to bring a goat. Represents a male, right? They tied the goat's mouth and they castrated him in front of her, alive. No, I took your manhood. And then the blood and all that, they do rituals with them. Don't need to get into that whole stuff. But that's what they do, right? So Diddy has a Jezebel spirit. Controlling, manipulative, dominating, okay? Diddy doesn't know the difference between man and woman anymore. All these men that he slept with, all these men that he did took the manhood. What he made him after he took the manhood, he made him an Ahab. See, that was the devil's doing. The devil said, these are the contracts, fulfill the contracts, all these contracts, and I give you all this power. Right? Did he fulfill the contracts? The contracts are done. There's no more contracts to fulfill. Within the politic world, the movie world, the sport arena world, he did all the bidding.
Diddy gave up his soul to gain power in this world. And now the real God is showing him who's really in control.
Rogan humbles atheists. Watch.
Have you ever had a debate with a snarky atheist? The worst versions of them are essentially believers in the religion of atheism.
Right.
They worship the concept of there being no God. This is it. When you die, nothing happens.
Yeah.
That to me is always so arrogant. Just the fact that you exist at all is so bizarre and so spectacular. The idea that you know for sure that when the lights shut out, that's a wrap. Like, because there's no evidence of the contrary. Well,
It's
okay.
not right.
I just think it's a little silly, because how could you know what you don't know? Yeah. You cannot know what you don't know. The bizarreness of the epicness of it all, and to not wonder if maybe you have a very narrow perception of what this whole thing is all about.
Yeah. Deny the virgin birth, but not the virgin birth of the universe.
In Christ, humility, gratitude. Outside Christ, arrogance, entitled.
Woman who went viral for sleeping with hundreds of college students. I mean, her mother even helped her with this event, making her a sign and everything. Just got rejected by a young man, and he said, I am Christian and I am waiting till marriage. And I'll show you the clip in a second, but this woman, Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, are two adult content creators, and they are making millions of dollars. They are going massively viral because they're recording their process of them sleeping with hundreds of men in a short period of time, trying to break records. The issue is, I feel like this type of behavior is becoming normalized, just trying to go viral on social media, basically selling your soul, doing wild things. So when you see a man that is grounded in his beliefs and stays true to himself, it's refreshing, and I think we need more of it.
Wondered, I can't see it on the menu, but where do I get the Five Guys from? The Five Guys. I didn't know if it was like a special room or you can take me out back.
No, I don't think that's happening.
What about after your shift? I mean, I'd want to give you, a good rating.
I'm a Christian man and I'm with saving myself man.
I'm asking for what's on the menu, that's all.
Genuinely, I feel like I'm doing it right now. I can hand you a menu if you want.
Are you on it?
No, I'm not.
There you go, buddy.
That's a shame.
Good for him. Probably the first time the scan was rejected.
In fact, there is no evidence that December 25th was selected to replace a pagan holiday. The truth of the matter is that no one really knows when the birth of Jesus was. So where did the date of December 25th come from then? There was an idea within early Christianity that if you were really holy, you would die on the day you were conceived. The early church thought he must have died on the day he was conceived. Going off of the evidence in the Gospels as to when the crucifixion was, which they believed counted out to March, and then they counted ahead 9 months, they got December 25th.
The birth of Jesus happens every day, every minute, every second when someone is baptized in his name.
April 15th, 2019. Fire breaks out in Notre Dame Cathedral. It engulfs the roof, bringing the iconic spire crashing to the ground. The collapse leaves a huge hole in the heart of the building. But it also sets the stage for surprising discoveries that might shed new light on the history of Notre Dame. As they clear away the floor, first they uncover a network of brick tunnels dating back to the 19th century. And it doesn't require special handling. But what archaeologists see next does. Human remains. A sealed lead sarcophagus of unknown age. Finding bodies is not completely unexpected. Burials in and around the cathedral are part of its history, but a sarcophagus like this one is very rare, and immediately begs the questions. Whose remains are these? And why are they here? Here at Rongai Hospital in Toulouse, a team of anthropologists, forensic doctors, and radiologists will analyze the contents of the coffins.
Hello.
Hello.
Canon Antoine Delaporte's sarcophagus, as well as that of the John Doe, are first carefully cleaned. Professor Eric Krubezi, an anthropologist at the University of Toulouse, examines the two sarcophagi with archaeologist Christophe Beignet before opening them.
A few teeth remain. The canines are in place.
He's looking for any clue or detail on the surface of the coffins.
The enlargement for the buttocks here. Have you ever seen this before or not? I don't recall.
No.
Unlike Antoine Delaporte's sarcophagus, this unknown coffin has a unique hourglass shape. These lead coffins were usually custom-made, lead being a particularly soft and malleable metal. It was the perfect material to make an airtight, human-shaped capsule. Armed with an angle grinder, they start with Antoine Delaporte's sarcophagus. The bottom of the coffin is very badly eroded. What will this mean for the condition of the remains inside?
Is everyone holding it?
Everyone's got it, yes.
Okay, let's do it. All right, Camille? Yeah, I have. You can give it to me, it's okay. It's okay, I've got it. All right, let go. Let go, boys.
Wow.
If the coffin had remained completely sealed, Delaporte's body would likely have been better preserved. Next, the mystery sarcophagus. It is a bit harder to open because its lead walls are much thicker. It is also less damaged, with fewer holes. So archaeologists hope the body inside will be better preserved than Antoine Delaporte. The lid is also much heavier to lift up.
Okay, hold on. You can let it go now. You can let it go now. It's good. It's sawed off.
An immediate surprise for the archaeologists. John Doe's skull is sawed open.
Oh man, look at that.
There's a leaf. There's lots of them. There's lots of leaves. Oh wow, that's beautiful. There are spikes of plants. That's beautiful. It's great.
This coffin is full of unexpected discoveries. The body has been buried with plants. But what kind? And why?
What?
And what possible reason had there been to saw open the skull? So many questions.
Shouldn't there be some kind of records of who's been buried there?
Saltwater crocodiles in Indonesia have apparently
I love
learned
it.
how to pretend to be drowning to lure humans in who they view as prey.
Yo, don't piss me off. I thought it was a joke, but from the comments and the sheer number of people that done tagged me, I guess not, so let's get into it. If you see a crocodile do this, someone's about to get put on a shirt, but not for the reason you think. You see these little dots, these pits on the crocodile? Well, they're covered in them, and the microdose trypophobia are actually pressure sensors, and each one has a whole mess of nerves. It's actually why you can do this without becoming a hashtag, but let one drop of sweat hit its mouth, and you're getting drop shipped to God's door like an afterlife Amazon package. Same day shipping. These frequency freckles help them detect the smallest vibrations and pressure changes in the water. As in, a butterfly can go skinny dipping and they'll feel it, and that means the world's greatest camper can pull up right next to prey while staying incognito. You know it's OP when they've been around like 200 million years and barely changed their playbook. Fun fact, crocodile jaws are more sensitive than your fingertips, meaning they can pinpoint your exact location in complete darkness. So in especially murky water, what they'll do is, right, they'll extend their legs and fingers, straight T-posing while staying perfectly still. And as goofy as it looks, it maximizes their sensitivity to vibrations and pressure differentials, especially in still water. So he's hunting, but not for sympathy. Or he could just be dead. The more you know.
Who actually jumped in to save them? Baby, if I saw a crocodile drowning, he's drowning.
How do you explain it going from 11 scared disciples in an upper room to being willing to go out and die for the proclamation that you believe that Jesus rose from the dead, and you saw him, and you touched him, and you ate with him?
How do we explain the fact that this man gets crucified by the Romans, and then people claim to see him after he died, and were willing to be put to death for that belief? And maybe he didn't die. Unlikely, as they say, the Romans knew how to kill people. And supposedly, they check. It's unlikely that he just somehow survived this. Likelihood is that he was actually crucified. And then a few days later, people are claiming to see him. Maybe they're lying, but then you don't tend to go to death for something you know to be a lie. You're willing to be put to death for things that you think are true, that are false, but very rarely are people willing to die for beliefs that they don't actually believe themselves. That doesn't really happen. So they probably weren't lying. As maybe they were mistaken. Fooled. Yeah, or maybe they were hallucinating. In groups.
Christ is king.
A dying man said goodbye to his dog, but what the dog did next will bring you to tears. Part 2. As Henry whispered his final goodbye, Bailey reacted immediately. The loyal dog stretched his head toward Henry's frail hand, nudging it gently. When Henry's fingers brushed his fur, Bailey began softly licking his hand, his eyes filled with love and understanding. The room fell silent as everyone witnessed the profound bond between them. Bailey's tender gestures, his low whimpers, carried an undeniable sadness as he refused to leave Henry's side. With his last bit of strength, Henry gave Bailey's head a faint pat. His voice barely audible, he murmured, "You've been my best friend, Bailey." "Thank you." Bailey let out a soft whine, resting his head on Henry's chest as his owner's heartbeat slowed. When Henry's breathing stopped, Bailey remained beside him, his quiet presence a testament to their shared love. A single mournful howl escaped him, filling the room with raw emotion. Those present were moved to tears, knowing they had witnessed the unshakable devotion of a dog to his best friend, even in his final moments.
We don't deserve angels like this.
There's a specific person that you've got to get out of your life right now. It's the person that wants to remind you of who you were. It's the person who wants to remind you of how you used to be, what you used to do, how you used to do it. That used to person's dead. Anybody who wants to resurrect that person cannot be in your life. There is nothing more important than getting people out of your life. They want to pretend you're the person you were yesterday. They want to act like you're the person you were yesterday. You're evolving, you're growing, you're advancing. You need to be focused on you right now, and anybody that wants to bring you back, anybody that wants to pretend you are the same person that they knew 1, 2, 6, 7 years ago, get them the hell out of your life.
It's difficult when that person is your family.
Can you imagine a time when ending a marriage was easier by selling your wife than filing for divorce? Well, in 18th century England, that was real. Instead of spending a fortune on legal processes, some men simply took their wives to the market and auctioned them off as if they were goods. The most absurd part? This was seen as a practical solution by many. Here's how it worked. The man would arrive with his wife, often tied with a rope, and start the auction of love. Whoever offered the most money would take the new wife home. It sounds insane, but some women even agreed to it, hoping to escape abusive husbands or join their lovers. This grotesque practice only started to fade when new divorce laws were introduced in 1856. Even then, sporadic cases continued happening until 1922. Believe it or not, some records indicate that the auctioned wives could even refuse the buyer if they didn't agree with the arrangement. What do you think? Could this bizarre practice have been, in a way, a simpler form of divorce for that time?
So what happened when a woman wanted to end the marriage with her husband? Was he auctioned off the same way?
What happened if you chewed 1 clove of garlic every single day? Garlic has a unique compound called allicin, and it's highly antimicrobial against viruses, bacteria, and even fungi. Chewing garlic activates more of this allicin than grinding, crushing, or cooking it. It's going to instantly cause your liver to detoxify poisons. It's going to get rid of any pathogens you have in your mouth. It's going to increase your nitric oxide in your blood and decrease your blood pressure. And it's going to act as an antihistamine to get rid of any type of sinus congestion that you have. And instead of chewing raw garlic, you might want to chew either fermented garlic, pickled garlic, garlic with honey, lemon juice, or olive oil, or even consume dehydrated garlic chips.
It would also leave you very lonely.
He's the dawn bringer. Yeah, they first called him Lucifera, and he was a girl. You ever see a girl with a big
I mean, I saw a girl with a little earlier. He showed me a statue of one.
That's the morning star.
What was her name again?
Venus.
Tell me more about Lucifer.
Yeah, he's the morning star, and he's the one who guards the gate. They call him. He's way older than Christianity, right, or Judaism. He's way older. He's part of the Saturnian religion. And what is that? That's the mystery that revolves around sun, moon, and earth. So it's it's all constellations and stuff like that, and all solar stuff, and yearly festivals and whatnot. That's Saturnian, the worship of Cronus. They call it the Golden Age. It's before the Zeus enters and takes over, right? On Olympus, right? Okay. It's before he takes over. So Lucifer comes from that older generation. And he's a dawn bringer. What is everybody's job?
What does that mean?
It means you bring dawn. You herald...
Bring the new day?
Yes, you herald the dawn. The dawn is that funny moment when you don't have any sunlight, direct sunlight, and it's kind of they talked about it as a spark in the ether. Spinthe, they call it a spark. A spark in the ether. And that's what you're preserving. When you meet as a Christian, you get up early in the morning. This is how they originally met. They get up at sunrise, right? Now, that's why you have the associations of sunrise with, Easter and all that kind of stuff like that. They get there early because they're dawn bringers, right? Jesus is saying in the apocalypse, he says, I am the morning star.
Jesus says that?
Yes. And he's got a bra on, too.
A what?
A bra.
A bra?
Bra?
Yeah. It's a special device.
So,
this guy.
What do you make of that? Why did he say he was the morning star?
Because he has to be if he's going to be the Christ.
No, he's not.
If he's going to be the one in the position to be elevated as Christ, he's got to be the morning star. That's the title. They're all dawn bringers.
Okay.
Right? Christos is a dawn bringer. Right? So yeah, he's got to. He's following at least the people who are writing about him in John, John's Apocalypse. At least they're making that association. Yeah. Notice that they've got filtra too. The angels, when an angel pours out a filtra, right, or filtron, when they pour it out, that's a drug-containing device. So the angels that pour out the plagues, those are drugs.
Everything is about drugs. There's nothing that's not about drugs. Is there anything? Is there anything in history that has nothing to do with drugs, or is it all drugs?
Yeah, but it was boring. You know?
The spirit of confusion is a weapon of the enemy. If you know, you know.
I broke the rule. I'm the one that broke the rule.
A school cafeteria worker admits she did wrong, and she understands why she was fired.
She just couldn't stop giving extra food to children she felt really needed it.
Debbie Solzman says that students in this district know who doesn't have any money because they're the ones with the cheese sandwich. Worked as a beloved lunch lady here at Denver Place. She says she would upgrade the lunch of a child who didn't have enough money or give them extra food if they said they were still hungry.
If they didn't have enough money on their account, they would get a cheese sandwich instead. The other kids knew when they walked out into the cafeteria why they got the cheese sandwich.
She says she also would hear stories of food insecurity.
There was children that got a free lunch that would come back and say, Miss Debbie, I'm still hungry.
Solzman says she kept Post-it note IOUs and paid out of her own pocket for kids, but the district suspended, and Solzman admits to giving her grandchildren extra food too, but says it wasn't just them.
The richest country in the world denies food to hungry kids, and this good-hearted lady gets fired for being kind and human. So sad.
This may sound controversial, but no one is going to convince me that humans made this. This is an Apple chip under a microscope. Decide for yourself. Fallen angel technology? Just look at the intricacies of it all. Look at how small it goes, and this is all compared to a human hair. Now watch this as it comes back. There's no way that any machine humans made could ever do anything like that. That's a human hair.
This technology definitely wasn't invented in, someone's basement.
What do you think happens to us after death?
What?
Just hours after that video was recorded and published by ASMR YouTuber Marie Angel, she would be dead. Marie was an ASMR YouTuber who was on the rise. She was born in Ukraine but was living in Germany at the time of her death. And throughout her career on YouTube, she had cultivated a loving community of supporters on the app. But in September of 2024, something tragic would happen. On that day, Marie would upload a video answering viewers' questions. And one of the questions that one of her viewers asked was, what do you think happens after you die? And you can see her reading that question out loud at the beginning of this video. In the video, she reads the question out loud, but she doesn't really provide her viewers with a clear answer on her thoughts of life after death. Shortly after she recorded the video, she would upload it to her YouTube channel, and just a few hours later, she would be dead. As it turned out, later on that day, Marie was driving through Germany when a drunk driver collided with her vehicle. And unfortunately, she died at the scene, only hours after recording that now eerie video.
Sad. I think she knows the answer now.
Listen to the music, all the rap music, just listening to terminology, how they talk, how they operate. Like Bloods, they'll make a sound. You hear a lot like Lil Wayne's music videos. If they're in a large crowd full of other Blood gang members, that's signaling to them that 12 is around because it sounds like police sirens. And a lot of chicks really got into the gangs because of Cardi B. Cardi B's a Blood. She used to have blood dreads, and she had the whole 9 yards. She was a straight gangster. She had a whole music video where there's like, she's the OG, back before she got super famous. Lil Wayne, there's a music video with him and Bruno Mars. this mirror on the wall, whatever that mirrors or whatever. If you actually watch the music video, Lil Wayne pays tons of respect to the Bloods. He shows all of his blood tattoos, MOB, RR, 5-pointed stars. There's another set of Bloods called Sex, Money, Murder. They are a blood set, but they were founded by a guy in like the 60s, Pistol Pete. They don't do this. This is blood, right? They hold this up. This is blood. You'll never see Crips operate on the right side. Crips will always operate over here. They're a blood set, but they'll throw up 2 pistols to pay respect to Pistol Pete. And they operate off the color green because Pete loved money. Have you ever known Chicago Bulls to ever wear green?
No.
No. So why do they sell green jerseys and green hats?
No shit.
It's because they sell to the gang, make a ton of money off of it.
No shit.
Bloods will never eat at Burger King because BK stands for blood killer. It's a whole bunch of rules.
That's me after I watch Gangland.
Wait, so you telling me this whole time Fox Sports has been a little freak-off network? And out of all that, Joy Taylor is the reason why Shannon Sharpe got fired, and we never knew what the exact reason was. And I don't like it. But the way it all happened, like some crazy domino effect. Listen, hear me out. This is crazy. The whole Fox News is getting sued, and here it goes. Skip Bayless, seen here, wanted to sleep with this young lady, Faraji, right here, and offered her $1.5 million. And she was the one basically setting it up. But not only was Skip trying to be a perv, but the head of content, this handsome gentleman right here, Charlie Dixon, was also trying to smash. Now the hairstylist Faraji wouldn't let none of them smash. See here. So Charlie right here told Skip that Shannon smashed. That pissed Skip off. He started cussing Shannon out live on air in front of all of us. We all thought it was about Tom Brady, but it was about another Tom, a Tomcat. But the crazy part is Faraji, the hairstylist, found out that Joy got her whole job because she was smashing old Charlie over here. Smashing him so much that Charlie put her on a new show with Acho, and then these two started smashing, Acho and Joy. Now let's assume Shannon might have smashed. Okay? That would mean everybody is having basically a smash fest except for these two guys, Skip and Charlie. Now when it got out of hand, the hairstylist told Joy that she didn't like all the harassment, and Joy said she needed to do it because that's how how you gonna get on top. Finally, Charlie got so fed up with it, he told Joy to think of a reason to fire her. And Joy came up with a plan. Joy said we need more black hairstylists and ended up phasing her out. Wow. And then that's when she got mad and came with this whole lawsuit talking about all the freakiness going on behind Fox Sports that's about to cause the whole shit to come down. And since Charlie never could smash and felt jealous, he felt that Shannon smashed and he might have. That's why Shannon got fired. I'm out. It's crazy.
Yo, this is literally the efforts corporate and firemen on a day-to-day basis. Let's not mention call centers.
The fastest way to take control of your life is to stop controlling everyone around you. You have no idea how much time and energy and attention you are wasting trying to control other people. You have no idea how much energy you are burning through thinking about, worrying about, obsessing about what other people are doing, what they're not doing.
That's right.
What they're feeling, all of which you have zero control over.
I used to be like that.
So abiding by their rules, kissing a man, this is what you get? You get a medal from Joe Biden? Seriously, y'all, what does this medal represent? What did he get it for? I'll wait, because just like I don't know, y'all don't know either. But I really, really think it's because he did what they wanted him to do. Then he went to go repent because he knew what he did was wrong. So he got baptized and everything. That's great. But like I said, what is this for? So it's a medal of freedom. Freedom of what? Denzel don't look too pleased. Look at that face, y'all. That's a face of regret. Is that Bill Nye? Bill Nye? Ain't Hillary Clinton? All jokes aside, what the hell are these medals for? I just seen Bill Nye with one. Hillary? What the fuck is going on?
I thought Denzel was, one of the good guys.
Does this man look like he's in custody? Look at him, wearing a white undershirt, legs crossed, chilling. But he is. And you're looking at possibly the greatest criminal in modern history. They made movies about him. This is Zhang Ziqiang, nicknamed the Big Spender. On May 23rd, 1996, Mr. Big Spender here and his men kidnapped the eldest son, Victor Li, of the then richest man in Asia, Li Kai-shing, in broad daylight. He takes the man's underwear off and sends it to Li Kai-shing's mansion in Hong Kong and shows up to his daddy's house by himself, wearing his son's tie. The ransom demand, 1 billion Hong Kong dollars. That's 130 million US dollars. This is in 1996, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys 7 years earlier for that very same amount. And it still stands to this day in the Guinness World Record as the highest ransom ever paid. The truth is, he actually originally asked for 2 billion. But Li Kai-shing responded, "You're going to cripple the Hong Kong banking systems. ATMs will run out of cash in the city." So they settled on 1 billion. Zhang Ziqiang walked out of that mansion in 1996 with $1 billion in Hong Kong cash loaded into his vehicle. Now, the man's life is legendary. Even though it would end at only age 43, he would take his ill-gotten gains from robbing the rich and take up residence at Stanley Ho's flagship Macau casino. At one point during a gambling losing streak, he would call up Li Kai-shing, the very same man he robbed, and asked him for stock investment advice. You can't make this stuff up. Now, Mr. Big Spender got the nickname from his lifestyle. He tipped everyone around him like crazy, just handing out cash like Floyd Mayweather, but he would lose everything at Stanley Ho's casino. Y'all remember Stanley Ho, the late gambling king of Macau? We made an episode about him last year that did well over 1 million views on his fabulous art collection. You remember that? Yeah, well, Mr. Big Spender here basically paid for a large portion of all that with his losing. But Zhang Ziqiang was a hero to a lot of people, someone robbing the rich and taking care of those around him. But he made one fatal mistake. He fled across the border to mainland China in 1998, where he was arrested and charged. You see, this is not Hong Kong or Macau, where a high-priced lawyer can work miracles. They don't play that in mainland China. And he was given the ultimate penalty. And on December 5th, 1998, Guangdong police mobilized dozens of police vehicles and used fake dummy routes on their way to the final place in case a crew was going to intercept them. And on that day, the story of Mr. Big Spender Zhang Ziqiang would come to an end. Now, history is colorful because of extraordinary characters. And I hope you enjoyed this episode as the channel expands into new history genres in 2025. With that, I wish all of you watching a happy and healthy new year, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Very cool story. I think I remember a clip about that when I was a teenager. And I love how this gentleman tells stories. Follow him on TikTok, The Monkey King.
Did you know? World War I wasn't just fought by soldiers. It also involved millions of animals on the front line. Over 8 million horses were used during the war to carry supplies, transport troops, and even pull heavy artillery. But horses weren't the only heroes. Dogs were trained to deliver messages, detect mines, and comfort wounded soldiers in the trenches.
That's awesome.
One dog, named Stubby, even became a decorated war hero for saving an entire unit from a gas attack. And let's not forget the birds carrier pigeons were crucial for delivering messages across dangerous battlefields. One pigeon named Sher Ami saved 194 soldiers by flying 25 miles with a life-saving message. Even after being shot, these animals weren't just tools of war. They were companions and heroes, risking their lives alongside human soldiers. Their bravery remains an incredible and often overlooked part of history.
Even on the Jeffrey Epstein case, like, what's suggesting government involvement here?
What do you mean? What do you mean what's suggesting?
Like, what part of the Jeffrey Epstein case is like, oh my God, the government is like playing a part in this?
Well, the fact that he had ties to the Mossad and the CIA, and that when they raided his home, he had his face and about, what was it, 6 different passports? Who can issue passports?
For when we look at Epstein, right? Epstein was a billionaire, right?
Why was he a billionaire?
Why? Because of trading or whatever he did? I'm not totally sure.
No, that's the question.
No,
Nobody
sure.
knows why
I don't know
him or
why.
his brother
Yeah, but there's like
had
a million
billions of
different.
dollars.
Sure. There's lots of people where I don't know how they made their money, but to fill in the gaps of all of this with some.
No, you should always
huge
know how
conspiracy.
somebody became a billionaire. Like, that's like a very easy thing. Like, somebody should just be like, I became a billionaire, and you have no idea how. Like,
I'm sure there are tons of people who
it's
are
like,
billionaires
I sold
that
the
aren't.
product. You know why Elon Musk has money. You know why Jeff Bezos has money. You should not say we can't connect the dots on how this person became a billionaire that was able to purchase an
Filings
island.
aren't always going to be public. That like, oh well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's
Did you actually look into the Epstein case, or are you just, because I can't tell right now if your thing is just to be contrarian?
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm being serious. No, I'm asking you because it seems like you're just like, whatever your position is, I'm going to take the opposite and I'm going to say something really quickly and try to say, well, how do we know? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's actually quite boring.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
But
it's like, dude, like, let's actually have a real conversation, because tons of stuff is happening right now. A lot of stuff is being exposed, right? People are, for the first time, able to grasp a theory that finally makes sense, right? It finally makes sense. It makes sense that there is a blackmail ring operating in D.C. because we don't understand why we keep sending our politicians to D.C. and then it's like they completely serve anybody other than the American people. You're looking at the Diddy thing and you're realizing how many artists have stood up and said this exact same thing was going on. Now you have somebody that has filed something with proof saying it's going on. And then you just have like a Destiny being like, oh, what if it's not going on? What if it's not? Whoa.
Okay, well, sure. So here's like a
oh, maybe WAP is just really just that amazing. People just love talking about vaginas and like mopping the floor. It's like, you can do that thing, but it's not interesting. You know what I mean?
Man, I just how boring and intelligence he is.
In this video,
demons aren't afraid of sage. They're attracted to it. It's not protection, it's actually petition. You're not protecting yourself from unclean spirits by using sage or smudging the house. You're petitioning unclean spirits to you. It's like moths to a flame. Because see, you have to remember that the act of a burnt offering, it's biblical, right? It's God's principle. He created burnt offerings in the Old Testament as an atonement for our sin. And so the devil has hacked the burnt offering because it was originally a burnt sacrifice unto God, see, but the devil has perverted it through sins of divination and through worship of false gods to be a sacrifice to him and to demons. So the sage, this act of smudging, it is received as a sacrifice to unclean spirits. It attracts them to the space. It does not deter them from the space. It attracts them to the space. It does not protect you in the space. It petitions them to the space.
comment down below.
How about praying instead of performing witchcraft? Prayer with intentions chases them back to hell where they come from in Jesus' mighty name.
Not the actor who plays Spider-Man. Always have to preface with that. In his book Dominion, has a big section on slavery and says there is no abolition movement anywhere in history that was not both a Christian one and was motivated specifically by Christians. Why? Because they said, we see the fact that we're all created in the image of God. And in fact, one of the first abolitionist movements was in the 4th century by the Cappadocian Fathers. And what they did is, I think it was Gregory Nazianzus, preaches this sermon where he says, how dare you think you can pay a price for God's image? You can't do that. There is no price that could actually pay for how valuable the image of God is in every individual. You have these institutions which are not just motivated, but even the abolitionist movement in both England and then later in the United States, they were all Christian. None of them were not Christians. And even when the abolitionists, there's a great section in Tom Holland's Dominion where he talks about how a number of the British abolitionists went down into North Africa to try to convince some of the sultans in North Africa to get on board, and they laughed at them. They laughed at them, and actually, one of the lines, I think it was in Libya, the Sultan of Libya, said the only institution that goes back to Adam is slavery. In that it's like, as inherent as it is for humanity to be humanity, slavery has also come alongside it. I mean, slavery, there's still slavery going on in a lot of the Muslim world. But the word slave comes from the fact that North African Muslims were selling the Slavs from Europe into slavery. White slaves was literally where we get the word slave from. Yeah. It's the Slavics.
How dare you think you can pay a price for God's image? Goes insanely hard.
Cop would always pass by the same waitress on his way to work, but what he soon discovered about her just broke his heart. You see, since Sergeant Scott Bass would see this waitress walking outside every morning, no matter the weather, he became really worried about her. So on a freezing and rainy day, he decided to just see if she wanted a ride. But little did he know, this would actually change her life. You see, Jaleesa Corbett explained that she had accidentally applied to the wrong Bojangles location when she was looking for a job. But since this was the only place that actually gave her a chance and hired her, she decided that she would make it work no matter what. So she just began walking 12 miles every day just to get to work. Since it would take her 2 hours each way, she would leave home at 3 a.m. to get to work by 5. And despite having to then stand for 8 hours as a waitress, Jaleesa just refused to give up. When Sergeant Bass learned all of this, he was just mind blown and decided to start giving her rides every morning. But even then, he still felt Jaleesa deserved more. So coordinating with his local Walmart, he helped gift her a brand new bike. But when his kindness went viral, Steve Harvey then gifted Jaleesa a brand new car as well.
Wow.
Bojangles also soon promoted Jaleesa and relocated her right next to her home for her dedication. And Sergeant Bass himself was later awarded Deputy of the Year.
Now this is the real cop. To serve and protect.
I've said for about a year and a half now that I've felt something coming. And when I used to say it to friends and family, everybody kind of just blew me off. They didn't really understand what I was saying. And now in the last 6 months, I've been noticing even non-religious people, people that don't believe in God, Satan, heaven, or hell, they're getting on TikTok and they're asking like, okay, what is actually going on? Like, I feel something's going on. I feel something's coming. I feel something's happening. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's like an impending something. It's like a ticking clock almost. And for me, mine started off pretty quiet, pretty small. And I would say in the last month or so, it almost feels like a balloon that's being blown up. And right now we're at the point where the balloon is about to pop. Like, it can't handle any more air. That's what it feels like. It's just so interesting. Everybody knows it, whether they want to admit it or not. Like, life is not the same anymore. Think about how much life has changed in the last 5 years. I was thinking about that the other day because life was so completely different 2019 and prior. And now we're just so used to the chaos. We're so used to the mess. And honestly, I feel like majority of us are just waiting for God to come back. I know I am. Because I'm just done here. This world has nothing to offer me anymore. And the closer that you get to Christ, the more you realize how you don't relate to this world and how you want to detach. Like, I don't want any part of any of this. I'm just ready to go home and I'm just ready to meet my Savior.
Amen.
Like,
me too.
Take me. I'm ready. Because this world is just a disaster now. This world is a literal dumpster fire. And it's only going to get worse. And I truly believe that Christians just need to start speaking the truth. Like, just be bold. Because the reality is if you don't know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you are going to go to hell. That's the truth.
100%.
And I know it's harsh for some people, but look, if you don't believe in God, Satan has you by the neck. If you do not believe in God, you are going to hell. That's the truth. Because Jesus is the only one. We only go to heaven through Jesus. And so if you even believe in God, but don't have a relationship with Jesus, you are going to go to hell. I'm sorry if that's hard to hear, but that is the truth. And some people need that, like, slap in the face, that reality check. And it's the time. Like, look outside. The dominoes are starting to fall. The world is a complete disaster. But it's a disaster for a reason, because the dominoes, not only are they starting to fall, but everything is starting to get set up. And what is coming is the Antichrist, y'all. Yeah. That is the truth. Everything is getting set up to be a digital, monitored, evil, disgusting world that will eventually implement a chip. And
It's happening
Christians
already.
will not be here for that.
No.
And we can argue that another time, but that's what's coming. And Jesus Christ, who died for his bride, Jesus Christ, who died for his children, for the church, he will remove us and he will save us from that because we are not appointed to his wrath. And I think it's time that those of you who don't believe in God, you don't believe in Satan, you don't believe in heaven or hell, start looking into it. I would pose it to you like this. Are you truly willing to bank eternity on that? Are you so sure of what you think you know with everything going on outside that you won't even look into it? Because what I've noticed is so many of the people who want to make fun of Christians for their sky daddy, they don't even ask God to like reveal himself. Take 5 minutes when you're alone and ask Jesus, say, okay, Jesus, if you're actually real, I'm going to ask you to prove it. I'm going to ask you to reveal yourself to me. And here's the thing, if you don't believe that he's real, what do you have to lose? Eternity is a very long time. And if you are wrong, you will spend eternity being burned alive. You will spend eternity. It will never end. You will feel physical pain. You will be tormented. You will suffer. And you will be reminded every single second of every single day how many opportunities you missed to humble yourself and come to Christ. Jesus is very real.
Amen.
He died for you. He loves you more than you could ever imagine. And he is just waiting for you to put aside your feelings, put aside your pride, put aside your ego, and just say, okay, God, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to acknowledge that the world is getting a little crazy. And I'm just going to ask you to show me that you're real. We don't have much time left, y'all. We really don't.
Yes.
Even people who don't believe in God are starting to feel it. The veil is thinning. We are starting to see things in the sky for a reason. They're going to use it. They're going to twist it. But there are things out there, I would say probably about 5% of what people are seeing are real. And that is because we are getting so incredibly close to Jesus Christ. And it is such an exciting time to be alive. All of the pieces are getting put into place. All of the dominoes are starting to fall. Things are starting to line up. And everything is happening pretty quickly, if you've noticed. It's exciting to be alive right now, to watch this unfold. And I'm just telling you, if you don't believe in God, he's real. He's real whether you want to believe in him or not. And there is a consequence to not taking just that 5 minutes and humbling yourself and just talking to him directly, because we can. We have a one-on-one personal relationship with him because he died for us. So you can reach out directly to him and talk to him and ask him to prove to you that
Amen, sister. Humble yourself, folks. You know, it's getting stronger and stronger. God is so close. Jesus is around the corner. Our spirits know that he's coming.